Approximately 1 in every 100 babies is born with CHD, making it the most common birth defect globally. CHD is often invisible. You can't see the condition of someone's heart when you meet them. But rest assured, people with CHD are all around you. They're your neighbors, your co-workers, your teammates, your children's schoolmates, and sometimes even individuals living with CHD aren't aware of this until it's too late. There's a wide range of defects, some very profound, some relatively minor, but it affects a large part of the population. And trying to make a difference in the quality of life, the length of life for these individuals is something that we're committed to make a difference in.
CHD was never even on our radar. I had a great pregnancy. Once Max was born, one of the really highly skilled nurses was noticing that Max was blue. And they said, you need to kiss your baby. He has structural damage to his heart and he's got to go to the NICU. The end of that day, about 5 o'clock, we got a diagnosis. And they just said, that he'll have to have heart surgery, but we had a chance. We had a diagnosis and we had a chance.
A CHD diagnosis means a wide variety of things because there's literally an infinite amount of possibilities. So some heart defects are as simple as a hole between two of the chambers of the heart, relatively easy thing to fix. But some congenital heart disease are so complicated that you might be missing a pumping chamber. That's a big problem.
CHD comes in many, many different forms, whereas in other specialties, you kind of see the same patterns over and over again. Congenital heart disease is kind of often every child is different each time.
Solving the problem is something that isn't done with one size fits all. It needs a unique solution, which means that you need kind of a toolkit to be able to address this broad range of conditions. So it makes for kind of a lousy business plan. And therefore it's an underinvested area, and it's one of the things that we want to go after. We felt like we were in a wonderful position to really make a difference. So I had the privilege of leading Edwards, which is a leader in structural heart disease and cardiovascular medicine for many years. The other part of the job was I got exposed to children in particular that were born with a heart defect. I would come home and share the stories with Linda, and they were heart-wrenching stories of families that were desperate and physicians that were desperate to help these families. And it stuck with us.
That's probably the thing that you came home with the most. Those were the ones that kept him awake at night. This is a very unmet need.
CHD is something that's been on my mind for a long time. Really, nobody was aggressively investing in this space. And it's one of the things that we want to go after is, can we change the math so that we can attract investors into the space, not just philanthropists?
And I said, sounds good, let's do it.
We decided that not only was going to be a key focus area, but a flagship for our foundation. We've aligned around 3 initial goals. 1, to improve access to high-quality, lifelong care. 2, propel the innovative technologies that can change the lives in the years ahead. And 3, help people with CHD not just survive, but thrive.
We're not just going to be focusing on part of the problem, but really trying to make sure that we're looking across the whole chain to make sure that these innovations actually have an impact on patients. The breadth of that mission is why we ended up spending so much time picking the name and going with the word alliance. One of the first initiatives we're going to be launching is trying to create a centralized patient data repository and an enhanced evidence network. We're working on another project alongside health economists to understand the true cost of CHD to patients, to families, and to our economy as a whole. And then we're going to be working with regulators and policymakers to identify ways to streamline the pathway for new innovations so that we can help lower that cost for everyone. Once you get past the baseline of surviving, these patients essentially have a chronic illness that will be with them for the rest of their life, that they're going to have to learn to manage, and they're going to have to achieve the social and economic and educational things that they want to in their life, and not let having CHD hold them back. The patients and their families will have a system that they can use to help navigate their way towards the care they need.
We see ourselves both as a catalyst and a collaborator supporting the next generation of CHD care.
I was born with a congenital heart defect. I have tetralogy of Fallot as well as some other conditions. When I was 3 months old, I had my first surgery. When I was 7, it became a little bit more serious. It was, am I gonna die? Is there a chance that I'm not gonna make it out of this? Growing up, if I wanted a valve replaced, it meant 6 months of my life gone. When someone innovates and says, hey, maybe we're able to do it through the catheter where we don't need to open his chest and give him chest tubes, that meant everything to me. Not only did it stop the pain and recovery, it meant that I didn't have to worry as much going into surgery. That sense of dread was gone. Those little wins mean the world to us.
They once told us that, if Max had been born 10 years earlier, there would not have been enough for them to do. 10 years ahead, and now they had the technology to start working on his particular heart condition. And, he's 21 today and thriving.
We're striving to build this community of clinicians and researchers and policymakers and healthcare innovators and other nonprofits, all who are focused on patients and their families.
So we're taking it on, and we are getting unbelievable support and volunteers and desire to say, what can I do? I really want to be involved in this. It's very humbling.
When Mike approached me and said he was forming the MCA and would I like to be involved, I don't think I let him finish the sentence before I said yes.
And I think MCA is going to be an anchor for the heart community. Mike and Linda have the biggest hearts. To have this be their life's passion.
We're inviting healthcare leaders who share our mission to collaborate, exchange knowledge, align our efforts, and just accelerate solutions. We see a world where the accuracy of detection and the timeliness of detection is much better than it is today, because that's the starting place. And we think we could make big improvements on that. I'd like to think that the therapy options are much more sophisticated, much broader, and might indeed cause somebody with CHD to have less operations, less traumatic operations, more successful operations than they have today. And finally, I just like to see so much innovation going toward this space, that it's just vibrant, and that innovators from all over the country and all over the world are anxious to deliver their ideas. What kind of a difference we could make? I think it could be huge.